side to this goddess called Ishtar or Ashtoreth or Inanna. And that was something strange. She says in the Tao, I had looked at the actually ancient inscriptions to see this, and she says, I am a woman, I am a man. It says in a hymn to this goddess, it says she's the one who has the power to turn a man into a woman and a woman into a man.
Well, children, Jonathan, at the age of 4 or 5 years old are being told today that they can choose their gender.
Yeah.
Whether they want to be a boy or a girl.
This is Ishtar.
And Ishtar.
This is the spirit. And, and it started out like that. And now it started out originally just saying, hey, be more like this one. Now it's come to this, she had a priesthood. The priesthood of the goddess was this. Listen, it was men dressed up in her temple as women. Those were the priests. And they would go around acting as women. And so she is the goddess of androgyny, not combining male and female, blurring the lines between that. It's part of destruction. And that's what she did. And so you have now again men dressing up as women. That's the return of the goddess. Is that used to have that in the pagan world? You had it really central.
And now this was prevalent in the pagan world.
Yeah, exactly. And now we don't realize it's been out, but now it was the gospel that stopped us. Now it's back and it's all over. That is the spirit of the goddess. And not only that, now we talk about, you were just alluding to it, transgenderism. Listen, she was the god of transgenderism. She actually kind of morphed between male and female. She had an assistant that went to male and female back and forth. And actually, her priests many of them were surgically altered. They actually were surgically altered, which affected their hormones and affected all the things that are happening now. Those were her priests. And you remember we talked about the spirit, what happens when the spirit comes back? It's worse. Well, back then, that was the priesthood. She's seeking to do this to an entire generation of children.
To children.
That's how it's even more than it ever was. She actually had people dancing in front of her, some of these transition people, with scalpels, celebrating this. This is back because the gods are back.
For 5,000 years BC, Gala, transcribed, and androgynous trans priests of Sumerian goddesses have been around and noted. 200 to 300 years before Christ in ancient Greece, there were gods worshipped by Gali priests who wore feminine attire and identified as women.
Jewel, I want to ask you, do you have any regrets about taking your own vision or the process with which you did take your own vision?
I don't have any regrets taking my vision. I believe I should have been born blind, and I'm happy the way I am. I do have some regrets about the way I did it, but in the end, I'm happy the way I am.
With all due respect to Jewel, but I am having a really hard time sitting so close to someone who traumatized herself, who damaged herself. We took an oath in medicine to help people. We see horrible tragedies every single day as doctors, and people who would give anything to go back and restore their vision, their health. My heart is beating out of my chest. I can't even make sense of the emotions I'm feeling, because to hear someone say, I've always felt I should be blind. Well, I've always felt I should be the Queen of England, but I'm not going out to become the Queen of England.
Well, let me argue the side of the advocates of this disorder. We had Dr. Michael First on the show. He is the professional that has coined the term BIID. And what they're talking about here are people that from a very early time in life, they just have this strong sense that something about their body just doesn't belong. And they analogize this to gender identity disorder. Those people that grow up feeling like they're a woman in a man's body or a man in a woman's body, and they seek sexual reassignment surgery. That for a long time was considered to be extremely bizarre, and now it is not looked at in that way. So they often seek to have sexual reassignment surgery. And people don't have their heart beating out of their chest over that. But here, instead of a sexual reassignment, Jewel is saying, I want a sight reassignment, or someone wants, they just feel that an arm or a leg, some body part, they've just had this sense that this is foreign, it doesn't belong to their body.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints. And for me, that utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak.